I don't know if I have words for that, Brian, but no, just extremely proud, as you've heard me say many times, of this group of young men and how they bonded together, worked together, persevered together through good times and bad. Tonight's another example against a terrific Purdue team. Matt's got a phenomenal team. He runs a phenomenal program. It's a guy I respect immensely and how he operates, and kind of come the same path in terms of working our way up. And I thought our crowd was phenomenal. They were the difference in the game, but I hope they enjoyed it, because they definitely got their money's worth in terms of a phenomenal college basketball game with two really good teams. To come down to make a couple plays at the end. Johnny banks a one in, Jaden Ivey makes a play, and then Chucky makes a play. So just really proud of this group, and hopefully we got a lot more left in us.
Jeff, Greg, can you walk us through the last sequence, especially after Jaden hit the three to tie? Because it looked like Chucky had no intention of passing the ball off.
Yeah, I mean, it was, in that situation, I just decided to let him go because it was a scattered floor, especially knowing it's tied. So we're, trying to get the last shot, and just, you put it, if it was him or Johnny, put the ball in, your playmaker's hands. And obviously he made a play, and that's what you got to do. I think a lot of times that's better than calling a timeout, just because the defense can't set. We can get them maybe caught, not quite aligned or matched up how they want, but still had to make a play and hit a tough shot.
Abby?
Greg, it's probably not super common to have your freshman on the court take that last tying shot, but is that just a sentiment to how much you trust Chucky and how well he's been playing this season?
Well, it was the game-winning shot.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you put the ball in your playmaker's hands, regardless whether they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. I mean, coincidentally, after a made basket, he's typically, with how we operate, coming down, he's going to be circling through and getting the ball from Tyler on the inbounds and just push it. I just waved to him, let's go, and try to get what we can get there in transition. As they were, like I mentioned earlier, they were scrambling coming back.
Steve?
I think Chucky had a career high in scoring as well, even with that shot. Just what's the biggest kind of growth you've seen in him over the course of the season, the way he's going to develop?
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten more aggressive offensively. Yeah, I think that's one thing. He's had a moxie and a calmness to him the whole year. He plays beyond his age, so to speak. In that position, that's difficult. It's like being a freshman quarterback. You have a lot of responsibility. We hold that position highly accountable to take care of the ball and run our team. And I think that the confidence that has grown over the year, specifically on the offensive side, has been the difference for him. He's always been a good defensive player. I think he got better at not fouling, even though he fouled tonight in some situations. I thought they were the right call, seeing the replays. His feet were in the charge arc. So, but I think just the confidence offensively has really blossomed through the year.
Jim?
Greg, I think Brad said yesterday he thought this team was grateful. It's a lot of gratitude that this team shows. Have you noticed that too from the start, just how they do that?
I think going through last year with having no fans and such an upside down world, that to be able to be back around people, and nobody's more grateful than Brad Davison. He's not a kid, but he's just, I can't say enough about him and what he's done for this program. He's helped keep this program on track towards championships. And like I said, just on the court, off the court, classroom, the kid's a phenomenal leader, and he's got a servant's heart, and you see that with how he talks, and he walks the walk too.
And Greg, Vogt had his hand in everything tonight, besides scoring to a degree, with his offensive rebounding, his blocks, the lift he gave you, and the presence he gave you in the post to help counter what Purdue has.
That was, it was important. It was important down there too. We didn't have any of those guys file out tonight, but yeah, he's done everything we've asked of him and has actually fit what we envisioned his role could be for this team perfectly. He's won, this might be his 4th championship in 5 years. I think he won 2 at Northern Kentucky, 1 at Cincinnati, and then now here. So the kid knows how to win and what it takes to win. And you have to have, comparable size to battle, Williams and Edey. One guy you can't do with 1, sometimes you need 3. He was really impactful tonight, even though he's 1 for 1. His presence in there was important.
Coach, I'm sure, you were aware of Stefanovic, and, when Purdue wins, he's generally shooting it really well. He just comes out and scores 11 points in the first 8 minutes, doesn't score for the final 32 minutes. What did you just address, if anything, in the huddles to kind of slow him down?
Well, he had a tough one. Brad was right there on one of them. The other 2, I'd have to go back through the tape. Everything was in the first half, obviously. The biggest thing was don't let him get loose, and we got to find him in transition. He's a terrific player. He's really had a phenomenal career. He was a camper here back when he was in high school, so I've known him for a long time, and he puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and he just, gets it off quick. They do a great job of screening for him, and so it was important to continue to, not let him get loose and keep him in check.
Jeff.
What's up, guys? What's up? Running you off the stage.
Come on up.
Greg over.
Yeah, Jeff.
2 years ago, it was pretty much a completely different team that won. If I remember correctly, you said it was kind of fitting that team was on the road because of what it went through. Can you compare and contrast that to today and being at home in front of this crowd a little bit completely different?
Yeah, the one 2 years ago was the first time we had won one on the road. All the other championships we had clinched at home. So that was a different, a little different setting, a little different celebration. But I felt that at the time was important based on what we had gone through, specifically with Coach Moore, to just have that time with just us. This group's pretty gregarious, and they are. They're popular faces around campus. So for them to be able to do this in front of, our fans, our students, that place was rocking in there tonight. It was as loud as, I've been here a long time. I don't know if I've heard it as louder. I don't know if it can get much louder. And these guys are the reason. But as I mentioned out on the stage, I think I said 3 months ago, you might want to come and watch this team. Because I think that they're really good and they're only going to get better and they're fun to watch. And obviously tonight, everybody turned out in full force and they gave them a heck of a show.
Coach, obviously your starters have obviously grown significantly throughout the year, but it feels like your bench players have been giving you a little bit more recently. What can you say about the way those guys have kind of developed throughout the year?
Yeah, that was it. We always kind of have a saying, all hands on deck. And I kind of did it early in the year, tongue in cheek, because I didn't know who was going to get the minutes. Some guys were starting to emerge, but the depth, I didn't know how deep we could be. I thought pretty deep, but then we ran into some injuries, we ran into some illnesses. We had COVID kind of roll through in late December, and we needed to have other guys step up. I thought tonight, and we talked about Chris Boat, I thought Jacoby Neath gave us really important minutes. Specifically when Brad and Johnny had the 2 fouls in the first half and we had to get through the last 2.5 minutes. Ben Carlson, I thought, did some really good things. He was active, and he's growing. So Jordan Davis, you just go through the list, all 9 that played contributed, and we know we're going to have all hands on deck as we go forward, just like we have throughout the year. And that's what makes this team good, is that obviously we've got star players, but we have other guys that understand and are ready to jump in and help whenever they can.
Steven?
I'm glad the players are here too. I'm hoping that they can address this as well. What have you learned most about this team, and what have you appreciated most about the journey they've taken you on?
I think what I've learned most is, and I've watched this, is just their resiliency and their grit and their toughness, and I've talked about it many times, but just watching them come together and how they approach every day. I mean, I coached for a long time, and I've always seen teams go through ruts where practice wasn't, practice was a pain in the butt. This group doesn't have a bad practice, and we got more practices left in us, guys, so don't get any ideas, but they
Not for a
just,
couple days though, right?
they just embrace being with each other. They embrace the camaraderie, the togetherness, the chemistry. You don't win a championship if you're not connected and together. That's probably one thing I've watched. That's made me as a coach so proud to watch this group of young men grow and go through this journey together. That was what I will take with me as much as any of the wins that we've accumulated.
Greg, you said you used the candy dish after Maui. You said yesterday that it's donuts right now. I mean, there's still one more game before the postseason, but are you stewing up any sweets comparisons coming in the postseason?
It's always a surprise. So I always surprise them on film day. So.
No hints?
What would you say? Whatever Quick
Whatever
Trip
Quick
has.
Trip hasn't stopped.
We buy them out of Glazers recently. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I got a couple days before we jump back into Nebraska prep, so we're gonna enjoy this one before I worry about the candy bowl. Did somebody dump it out of the room when Big Cat was up in our office? It went out of the conference room into my office. It's empty, so I gotta refill that candy bowl.
We could talk players. For Chucky, just what was going through your mind when you released that shot? Did you think you had any chance of getting in, or how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I knew we were about to be Big Ten champs after I released it.
Johnny, you didn't seem like you were quite as confident about that.
Oh, his shot?
Yeah.
Hey, he hit it and we won. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, you banked one in right before that, so. Right.
His was worse.
Jim, all right?
Brad, this is a little bit like asking a parent who their favorite kid is, but you've been through two of these now, and they're both in some ways unlikely to probably everybody except in that room. Can you compare the two titles, and do they seem similar in any way, or what?
I think it's hard to compare just because it's different people, but they're both pretty special. And I think the thing that makes it similar is the thing that makes it special is the people you get to do it with, and the relationships and memories you make along the way. So we're gonna have these hats and these T-shirts for a long time, but also we're gonna have the relationships with one another for a long time. So that's the one thing that I see as a similarity is you're just super thankful for the people you do it with.
Yeah. Tyler, over on the left here. Two-part question. What was it like when they switched Edie on you trying to score in the second half? And also, after Chucky's shot, you guys still had to make a stop. And can you run us through what you saw in that inbound that allowed you to steal that pass to secure it?
Well, that's kind of been the thing in the recent games where they put the 5-man on me, so kind of just still be aggressive, don't let that really get in my head, and just go out there and play basketball and then get that stop. I was just kind of sitting, waiting back, knew they were going to try to get a 3 off around the 3-point line, and I saw where Trey Down was looking, and I just went up and grabbed it.
Abby, back right.
Johnny, obviously it's a team effort, but you've been known to make some game-winning shots in your time here, and Chucky had it today. What was it like to see just him have that moment to take the lead?
I knew as soon as he got the ball and was bringing it on the floor, I knew he was going to take the shot. I didn't want the ball in anybody else's hands, and he did what he does best.
Yeah. Brad, we've talked to you about Chucky a lot, but you played a ton as a freshman. You know how difficult that is. Does anything he does surprise you anymore?
I'd say no, because you guys see the games that we're with them every day in practice. I was with him early in the gym in the summer, before workouts, whether we were playing one-on-one or just getting shots up. So, I get to see more than just the game. So what he does out there on the floor, whether it's, creating shots for himself, making shots, or creating shots for other people, or on the defensive side of the ball, I've seen it over the last few months here. So I wouldn't say I'm surprised by it, but, he's such a, fun player and fun teammate to be around and play with. So, we're thankful to have him on our squad.
Tyler, Chris Vogt and you were pretty much in sync the whole game when you were on the court together. How big was it for him to see him get those such big offensive rebounds for you guys?
I mean, that's something that CV is really darn good at. He's able to get those extra possessions for us, and in those tight games, it really pays off. And so he's a big part of this team, along with every other person, and just glad he had a great game.
Back here for Brad and Johnny, I'll start with you, Brad. Just kind of, as you two as kind of the leaders sort of this team, what is it like where, some of us in the media, the coaches all leading up to you guys were predicted to be 10 in the Big Ten, and then to come out here first. Kind of just what is that feeling like and that journey like to now get to these points?
I think it's just a testament to the standards of our program. No matter who's coming back or who left the program, our standards to compete for Big Ten titles and be at the top of the Big Ten. So. That was our goal at the beginning of the year, and even though other people on the outside may not have seen that in us, we saw that in ourselves from the very beginning because of the players we had, the talent we had, and the ability we had, to be tough and to play basketball to our identity. So, I guess it shows how much those predictions really mean. And for us, we just control what we control and try to get better every day, and now we're sitting in a pretty good spot.
We have time for two more, Jim.
Johnny, I know you're kind of lost in the moment during the game, but the crowd was terrific tonight. Can you feel that energy? I mean, how much does that help a home team?
Yeah, it was so loud at one point my ears were literally ringing. But it's great to have people come out and support us like that. But I mean, hopefully now going forward, going on into next season, and hopefully if we make a deep run in the tournament, that we can just get more fans to come in and make the arena loud.
For both Brad and Gard, you guys shared a really special hug up on the stage in the trophy presentation. What was that moment like, you, Brad, coming back, getting to coach, or getting to play under Gard? What were those moments like? What did you guys say to each other?
It's just like, people see the games and people see, the winning moments. We've been through a lot of highs and lows over the last 5 years, and all of those experiences and moments, they lead up to right now. So just an emotional moment. I'm thinking back to my decision to come back. I'm thinking back to my freshman year when the season didn't go so well. Thinking back to a lot of different emotions. But so just to share that moment with Coach, I'm so thankful for to have him as a mentor, but also for his trust and belief for me that started back when I was an 8th grader. So there's a little bit more to the story than just my 5 years here as well. So just a super special moment, and I'm thankful for everyone in the program, my teammates, but especially Coach Gard.
Yeah, I mean, he brought up a point of, I remember the first time I met him, he was an 8th grader, he came to team camp, and, obviously, you start a relationship then, and that's really why you coach. It's these things that we experienced tonight are, obviously, they're the byproduct of putting a lot of time in with each other, developing relationships, through good and bad. There's been a lot of hugs of joy, and there's been, some hard times too. So I think that's, as a coach, that's, as I mentioned before, just watching this group grow, and obviously I've, known Brad the longest, those are special memories that you take with you for the rest of your life. And as I tell these guys all the time, I'm your coach for your little moment in time that you're here, but I'm with you on your journey through life until they throw dirt on me, and I'm always there for you. So it's more than me just drawing up some out of bounds plays and last second bank shot, those type of things. That's the byproduct of developing a trust to let these guys go play.
Take one last one, Evan.
Brad, being the lone guy on that team from 2 years ago, you know how difficult this week leading up to these games can be when you win and you're Big Ten champs. What was your message to the team this week on how to handle the pressure that's going to mount, and what will be the message this week, knowing that if you win again, you can share it outright this time?
Yeah, I think I talked to most of the guys today. Some people call it pressure, but I always say pressure is something you're not prepared for. And so throughout the course of the year and even the offseason, we were preparing for these moments. And so we put a lot of time in to put us in a really, great spot coming into the game where we didn't feel like we had a whole lot of pressure. I think the pressure was more so on Purdue tonight. For us, it was just one big opportunity to go out there and win the Big Ten in front of our home fans and make a statement. So my message was, it's not pressure, it's an opportunity, and these are the moments that you put all the time in for. These are the moments that, you'll be remembered for too.